Okay. Give me just a minute here. Still trying to set this up. Sorry about that. Okay. 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 I think I'm done. Yeah. Um, Rob Johnson, Joshua, Angela Betts, West Haven Always and Forever, AJ, Jenny, good to see you all out there. Kitty, how you doing? Right side of Floyd, good to see you, brother. Big old bro hugs. Heck yeah, Mudcon, what's up? What's up? Two times in the same day. What about that there, Mudcon? Wow. Came over to my D live stream that's here over at my YouTube stream. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that dedication. Thank you. Thank you. You're a good person. California Ford Raptor, how you doing? Stay caffeinated. Hell yeah. Cheers. Folgers up in your cup. Well, y'all see the title, right? Living with depression and anxiety. What a good topic. And tonight, I'm going to talk about that again, or we're going to talk about that. We are. Because I want people to come up on the panel and share their stories. Okay, that's what tonight is dedicated to. The people that want to come up here and share their stories, their experience of living with anxiety and depression. And man, do I know what that's like. The last 2.5 weeks have been miserable. They have. They've been miserable for me. Iron Woman, how you doing? West Haven, girl, it never fails. It never fails. West Haven always and forever, always doing that to me. Thank you for your generosity. You know you don't have to do that, right? Thank you. Thank you. I live with it every day, says Jenny M. Exactly. Timmons, how you doing? Man, oh man, we need to talk about this topic, right? We do. We need to talk about it because it's the people that aren't talking about it that aren't getting the help, right? Somehow, when you can share your experience with someone else that's going through the same thing, it might inspire them, it might lift them up, it might encourage them. So we do have to come together and talk about these things. I totally agree with that. That communication is what we need. Ah, we got C Farm Vlogs. How you doing? Long time no talk. Good to have you here. I think mine is stems from my head injuries, and that's a possibility. That's a possibility. I've heard of people having head injuries, and it does something up there. I'm not a doctor, but people that have told me and shared their stories, they've had head injuries, and all of a sudden their life has changed. Right, their life has changed. Now they're living with depression and anxiety, and they don't understand why. Well, I'm going to be bringing people up on my panel, ones that want to come up. And if this means anything to you, you'll come up and you'll share your story tonight with everyone, all right? It's a judgment free zone. We're not going to judge no one, all right? We ain't going to judge no one living with anxiety and depression. Mr. Whistle, how you doing? Good to see you out there. What a good topic. Can y'all hear my fan blowing? Can y'all hear my fan blowing? I've got one of those shop fans, right? The thing is like this big around. It's about as big as a truck tire. I don't know if you can all hear that or not. Angela, good to see you out there. Angela Holler out in the house. I hope you're doing well, Angela. You're continually in my prayers and thoughts. You know that. Love you, girl. Jan's Live Journey, good to see you. I just gave myself a like for this live stream. If you believe that this stream deserves a like, that I deserve a like for what I do here on YouTube, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. All right. I'd appreciate it. Thank you. And for those that share this out, the more people that we can get in here, the more people we can affect. You know what I'm saying? The more people we can affect. Nina says, why do you have to watch this video to get in here? Why do I have to watch this video to get in here? What? What video? The old age entertainment. How you doing? You don't hear it? Does anyone hear it? Does anyone hear the fan? Not enough to complain about. Nike Lee, how you doing? Much love. A small part of my head is gone due to a surgery that helped my brain fluid condition. I think that's my biggest reason. And maybe so there, Joshua, maybe so. I've had two concussions. I have anxiety because of it. See, so it is a real thing. It is a real thing. People that have had head injuries, right? You know, one day you're happy and free as Jaybird, right? Just happy and free, and you have very little worries, right? One day, and then all of a sudden something happens. You have a concussion. You have a because of a head injury, and it changes your whole world. And some of you out there, you can relate to what I just said. It is a real thing. It is a real thing, and it can be debilitating, right? It can be very debilitating to the point that when morning time comes, you don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to face the day, right? Because in your mind, you're thinking it's just going to be a miserable existence, just like yesterday was, just like the day before was. It's just going to be a miserable existence. Why do I got to wake up? Why do I get out of bed? You know what I'm saying? Some of you can relate to that. Just not wanting to get out of bed. Another thing that another thing that anxiety and depression causes exhaustion. And you might be thinking, how the hell does anxiety and depression cause exhaustion? Well, remember, you can be exhausted physically and you can be exhausted mentally, right? Depression, it will exhaust you. June Nielsen, how you doing? Skater girl, good to see you. It's been a while. Much love. Have I shared it out on Twitter and Facebook? Still trying to figure out how to share it on Instagram. Thank you, Kitty. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Getting robbed is not easy either. Yes, it does. It takes a lot out of you, Cap. That's right. It sure does. It sure does. You know, for just over 2 weeks, I didn't want to do a live stream, and I didn't. I didn't. I gave up doing live streams for a couple weeks because I needed time. Because depression, anxiety hit me really, really hard. And several events took place in those 2 weeks. And it's like, how the hell am I going to get out of this? One day it was one thing, right? And that kind of brought me down a little bit. And then the following day, something else happened. Okay. And that brought me down a peg. And then the following day, another thing happened and it brought me down again. 4 days in a row, 4 days in a row. On the fourth day, something else happened and it brought me down another peg. And I'm thinking to myself, damn, I must have a black cloud over the top of me. And don't think I didn't think that life sucked, because for 4 freaking days, it sucked. I haven't felt that kind of depression in a long time. And I was totally stressed out, totally stressed out. And it's like, what? How the hell am I going to get rid of this? I feel like I'm in a, I feel like I'm in a damn, in a trench. And there is nothing. It's too deep for me to crawl out of, right? No one was throwing a rope over the side and say, hey, come on up, Cab 7, climb that rope, get out of that trench. Because a lot of us, and you may agree with this, a lot of us that got depression or anxiety, we hide it well. We hide it so other people don't see it, right? We hide it. We're embarrassed of it. And sometimes we use that excuse, well, I don't want to bring other people down. I'm feeling depressed today, but I don't want to bring other people down. So I'll just keep it to myself. So the whole time you're hanging out with a group of friends, let's say a live stream, right? Let's say a live stream. The whole time that you're hanging out that live stream, you're depressed as all hell, but no one knows about it. No one knows about it because you're keeping it secret. So it's kind of like putting on that mask, right? Hiding it from everyone. The whole time that everyone's having a good time, you're in pain. You're hurting bad. And the only reason that you're in this place or this space is hoping that maybe that's going to be your medication to get you out of the trench that you're in. I need to be around people. I'm the type that needs to be around people to help me out. Some people that are living with anxiety and depression, right? They don't want to be around people. They don't want to be around no one. They want to be by themselves, right? And it's a really dark environment. It is you in the dark. You get what I'm saying? And it is such a real thing. It is such a very real thing. Shelley says, it's hard to care for yourself when you have depression and anxiety. And to be a 24/7 caregiver for someone, it makes it much worse. And guilt of it affecting them. Exactly. Exactly. You know what? Let me be honest with you. Okay. There are very few people that I know that are not living with anxiety and depression. The people that I surround myself with happen to be living with depression and anxiety. It just happens to be that way. And somehow we come together, right? We come together as a group of people. It's not a coincidence that we're together. It's like, dude, I can relate to him. I can relate to her. I can relate. I can relate. I want to ask Jenny Marceth. Jenny, do you? Oh, I can't play it. Doggone it. That's right. I'm not on D Live. Shit. Oh, damn. You know, there's all sorts of music that I'd like to play during a subject like this, right? And there's songs that are uplifting. There's songs that we can relate to. Casey Austin, how you doing? Good to see you out there. Redneck Wiki said, I suffer from depression and bipolar, and when I'm in depression mood, it scares me. Exactly. Redneck Wookie, exactly. Little Red the Fan said, when living with a narcissistic person, you deal with depression, stress, anxiety. After 14 years, I got out and felt the world lifted off my shoulders. And you know what? And you're not alone in that. Little Red the Fan, it's a sad thing that happens in a relationship, right? Because you try to do everything you can for that one person that's living with anxiety and depression. And sometimes that person that's living with it says it has nothing to do with you. This is my own war, my own battle that I'm fighting. It has nothing to do with you. And I know that you care about me. I know that you love me, but it's not helping me. It's not helping me. It's not helping. This is a fight I'm doing on my own. Please believe me when I say it has nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's very painful for the person that has to witness that because they love you and they care about you so much. And they don't want to see you in pain. They don't want to see you hurting. But day in and day out, day in and day out, it brings that person down too. It brings them down. How much of this can I handle? How much of this can I handle? I love this person so much, but I can't deal with it no more. Maybe if I told them that they need to clean up their act or I'm going to walk. But you know what? That's the wrong statement to make to someone that's living with depression and anxiety. You better clean up your act. You know what? It's a disability. It's a real thing, a disability. You can't just tell a person, hey, you need to get over your depression and your anxiety. It doesn't work that way. So I can feel for the person that's living with someone with depression and anxiety, that person that you love and care so much. It's like, what happened to us? Right? And you seem to be blaming it on yourself. You blame it on yourself. The reason why that loved one is living with depression and anxiety. You blame it on you. But in all reality, it has nothing to do with you. In some cases. Okay? In some cases. It has nothing to do with you. God love all those people that just want to grab a hold of you, hug you, just hug the hell out of you and say, damn, I wish this depression and anxiety would go away. I hate seeing you hurt. I hate this. It's killing me. And sometimes the reality of someone living with anxiety, depression, that's in a relationship, someone's going to walk away. I love you, but I can't deal with this no more. I got to leave. And in the worst case scenarios, the ultimate thing happens. That person that's living with anxiety and depression, the worst thing in the world happens because their world has already come down on them, right? It seems like the whole world has come down on them. And the last thing that they needed was their relationship to come down on them too. And maybe it's just that tips them over the other side. And that's it. It's done. It's over. It's all over. You lost your job. You lost your house. You lost your car. Because when you live with depression, you don't give a shit about things anymore, right? You just don't. You don't care about nothing. That deep depression, who cares? Sometimes it affects your eating, right? I'm not going to eat. I'm not hungry. And so you lose all this weight, right? It affects your health in many different ways. I know what it's like to lose friends to depression and anxiety, and it's called suicide. And there is nothing more real. There's nothing more real than for someone that you care about to give up their life because ain't no doctor, ain't no medication's going to help them, right? Ain't no doctor, ain't no medication going to help them. It's that powerful. You are no longer that person. What you are is a walking depression, a walking anxiety. You let it consume your life. You let it consume you 100% completely. You are not the person that you used to be. Some of us out there that are watching this live stream right now can relate, right? You've lost a friend to suicide. And no matter what you tried to do for that friend or that relative, it didn't make a difference. It didn't make a difference. And then you wonder, did I have something to do with their life ending? Was it me? Did I push them too hard? Did I push them over the edge? And for the rest of your life, you're gonna wonder, are you the one? Are you the one that might have caused that? And you'll never get an answer back, ever. It's just something that you'll have to live with. Seems unfair, doesn't it? Because while they were alive, we asked that question. Is it because of me that you have depression and anxiety? Is it me? I hope it's not. Hey dog, how you doing, brother? Always good to see you out there. Here, B Rabbit, how you doing? Hey dog says, I've been working on keeping myself busy with work around here and I'm ignoring my real feelings. Suicide is definitely an opinion, but I'm definitely trying to think it. Greg, man, how you doing? Towering Doc, how are you? Little Red the fan said, because I've been in other shoes, I have saved two people from taking their lives because I'm here to help bring them up and not drag them down like others have. Exactly. Little Red the fan. Oh, I can so relate to that. I can so relate to that. You know, Cab 7 live streams have saved five people over the years. Five people have been saved right here at Cab 7 over the years. Five people. Marilyn Wells said, hi, Cabby. Hi, everyone. I've been fighting depression and anxiety since I was a little girl. Marilyn, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Cal Childers, Nation 13, said, Jenny M., depression can lead to suicidal thoughts. That's exactly right. That is exactly right. Hey Dog says, my depression is my fault. My anxiety is why I have nowhere to go and live. Had to get away from Indiana because of of it was worse there. Cute Kitty said, I like to handle my depression in silent cab. I never want to bring my depression due to you, anyone, for I don't want to be a burden, cab. That is why I go through depression and think bad things. Greg Man says, I'm stressed out myself. They're trying to take away my health insurance. Skater Girl said, I found out that with depression, one of the most important things you can realize is that you're not alone. Exactly. Exactly, Skater Girl. You know, I realize that there's a lot of groups around the planet that get together, right? It's kind of like an AA meeting. People living with depression and anxiety. And they can go to these meetings, right? And they can listen to the life experiences of others who get up in front of a group of people and say, hey, this is me. My name's Ben, and I'm living with depression and anxiety. And you got these groups out there. Some of them can help you, right? They can help you. People can sponsor you. You can connect with people. You'll get phone numbers. You'll get emails. People are going to connect with you somehow and say, hey, we need to sit down and talk. We need to hang out. When you're feeling down and out, there's that phone number. Give me a call. You know what? Better than that. I'm going to call you once a week. I'm going to call you once a week and I'm just going to find out how you're doing. I love you and I care about you. And I don't want nothing bad happening to you. And you know what? You and me can relate because we're living through the same thing. Let's take care of each other. Let's lift each other up, right? But not all those kind of groups helps everyone with depression and anxiety. Some people living with depression and anxiety don't want to go to those groups. They just want to be left alone. I want to deal with this in my own way. I don't need people. You know what I'm saying? There are those kind of people out there as well. We got Big Steve out in the house. How you doing, Big Steve? Hugh Nielsen said, yes, it's like you say, you can't do nothing for a person that don't feel good, but just be there with a smile. Even if it's hard to see someone so sad and down, sending lots of hugs to you. Exactly. Exactly. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk but trying to do something positive for someone that's living with depression and anxiety, who would have thunk that they would turn that away? Who would turn that away? But some people do. They don't want that. They don't want your love. They don't want your attention. They don't want the answers, right? They don't want none of that stuff. It is so real. It is so real. There are multiple times I tried to take my life at the age of 20 when I lost my son and daughter. There are still times I think about how to end my life in silence, says cute kitty kitty. Little Red the Tham, I saved one from overdosing. I had that feeling, ran to their house. And if I was 5 minutes later, they would have died. They're alive and happy because I gave them a second chance. Amen, Little Red the fan. Redneck Wookie, my whole family said my depression is my fault. And my family said, I choose depression. And see, that is so false. That is not true. That is not true. Depression is not a choice. It is not a choice. It is a disease. I didn't choose depression and anxiety, but I've got it. And some days are worse than others, right? No one chooses to be depressed or to have anxiety. No one chooses that unless you're faking it. Now, there have been people out there on social media that fake that shit, right? They faked it for one reason or another. But why would you want to fake such a disease? Why would you want to do that? Papa Flip and Smurf. Hey, how you doing, brother? I have a church group that is helpful, but I'm working on getting my state ID card, and hopefully then I'll be able to get things done. I have to come up with $14, mail it to get my ID card in August. The depression I suffer is now from here, and I'm not, is not from here. Not good enough for anybody, and that nobody would want anyone like me, Cap. My husband has said this to me, Cap. And see, oh yeah, that will listen. That's abuse. Okay, that's mental abuse there. That's mental abuse. And out of mental abuse comes what? Comes what? For those people that stick around for that for months upon months, years upon years of being abused all the time, of course you're going to be depressed. Because at a certain point, you start believing that person. When they tell you that you're nothing but a terrible person, there is a turning point where you start believing it. You're not allowed to go nowhere. And if you do go nowhere, I'm looking at my clock, I'm looking at my watch. You better be at that grocery store and you better be back at a certain time because I know how long it takes to get there to do your business and get back, right? That abusive person. They don't want you out in public. You're an embarrassment, right? You're sickening to them. That would cause anyone to have depression if you were told that every single day that you're worthless, that you're no good. So it's a double whammy or triple whammy, right? For that person that's in an abusive relationship, they're dealing with depression, they're dealing with anxiety, and then they're dealing with someone that is mentally abusing them. You've got the whole weight of the world on your shoulders. And how long are you going to be able to live with that before you finally say, you know what, I give up? That's it, I'm done. My life ain't worth this. Um, no one deserves mental abuse. No one deserves that. No one. You know, I wish there was a cure for depression and anxiety. I really do. Because if there was a cure for both of those things, and I'm not talking about medications, all right? Medications ain't curing it. Medications ain't curing it. It's keeping you at an even keel, right? Keeping you at an even keel. But if there was a cure to anxiety and depression for those friends and relatives that I lost over the years, they'd still be here. But there is no cure, not that I'm aware of. So in the meantime, we keep moving on with our lives, losing that friend here, that relative there, that friend over there, that relative over there. Too many people, too many people have died. Good people, good people, people that could have made a big difference in this world. They're gone, and we can't bring them back. Mystic Angel Christina said, my ex-husband verbally abused me, and it turned physical. He is now with another woman. It says, one, I went, thought I deserved it, thought I deserved, and that he isn't abusive. So he lied to the other woman saying that well, when you were together, he said that you deserved it. He deserved it. Well, no one deserves it. Okay. Let me tell you, no one deserves that. No one. But yeah, there are people out there that are just like that, right? They will beat on their spouse, their partner, beat on them physically, yell at them, and say the worst things that you could possibly imagine, right? And it's a continual thing. It's a continual thing. It's like being waterboarded. When does it stop? It doesn't. It doesn't stop. My heart goes out to the people that are mentally and physically abused every day of their life. And they're too scared to leave that relationship. They're afraid of what that person's going to do to them. They said they were going to kill me if I left. They were going to stab me. They were going to shoot me. They told me what they were going to do if I dare try to leave this house, if I dare try to leave this apartment, right? How scary is that? I want to say hello to my friends out there. Matt and Eric, how you doing? Good to see you. Medications barely work, says Godspeed, Super Beast. And that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. You know what? They put me on Prozac. This was years ago. They put me on Prozac and I had the opposite reaction. Do you realize that it actually made me feel more depressed? This was in 1992, 92 or 93, somewhere in that area. It actually made me feel worse. And I tried ending my life in a pickup truck. I was working, well, volunteering work for the Forest Service at the time. And I got in one of the Forest Service rigs going down the side of a mountain, a windy road, right? And I wanted just to end it. I wanted to end it. And this is while I was taking Prozac. Well, of course, I told my social worker, I said, listen, this stuff is making me worse. It's not helping me any. So over the years, I felt like a test lab rat. Well, we got this new medication that's out right now, and it might help you. We're going to go ahead and put you on 5 milligrams to start. And if that doesn't work, then we're going to up your dosage to 10 milligrams. How about that? But are you willing to participate in all these new drugs that are coming out? And I did. I felt like a test lab rat. Oh my God. And then feel frustrated because they didn't work. They didn't work. And sometimes that happens to some of us, right? It's like no matter what medication it is, it doesn't work. For some, yeah, it does. Medications do help some. But then there are others out there that no matter what the medication is, it doesn't work. And then, of course, each medication has side effects, doesn't it? Yeah, you got those side effects that come along with them. And if you're one of those recipients that take more than one medication, right, you might be taking cholesterol medication, you might be taking high blood pressure medication, right? You might be taking all these other medications. And so, what effect is this antidepressant medication, anxiety medication, going to have on those other medications that I'm taking? What's it going to do to me? What are the possibilities, right? Uh, Southern Bell said, I have suffered from depression, anxiety, and panic attacks most of my life. I take antidepressants and anti anxiety medications. Exactly. And there I was isolated from everyone for 10 years and had friends help me out. And now I'm here to help others, for I was there. And now I'm taking the power. There you go. There you go. Check out Little Red the Fam over there. Got Shepherd's Homestead up in the chat. Always a pleasure to see you, brother. How you doing? This man is a man of travel, not leisure. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. He's not a man of leisure. He's a man of travel, right? Going from point A to point B. And sometimes when he's at that first place, it's like, oh, I know this ain't going to be forever. I might have to move on, and he does, right? Goes from one place to the next, to the next, to the next. Not a man of leisure. And he's trying to help people out, right? Sharing the word. He's sharing the word because that he believes that's his calling. He believes that's his call, and I think that's awesome. Volumes worked a little, or that. Let's see, volumes worked a little for me. Everything else made my depression worse. Says Godspeed, Super Beast. Patty E, how are you doing? Hey, I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there the best way that I can. Joshua Coe said, "Yep, I was a lab rat. Even my uh, previous neurologist said so." Till they finally figured out the correct seizure meds to help me. Had to take me off Zoloft cold turkey to cut them down. It was horrible. I had anxiety about all the godforsaken fireworks they were lighting off in my neighborhood over the weekend. Said, "Here be rabbit." Oh, yeah, I can relate to that. I can relate to that. Shepherd Homestead said, "We've been settled down for about 6 months. I think we'll stay here." Famous last words, brother. Famous last words. Hey, when the good Lord calls upon you, right? You got to go. You got to go, man. You say, "Hey, I need you over here in this part of the country. Come on. Come on, Shepherd's Homestead. Come on." Backroads 82 said, sometimes my wall of depression goes up and it's hard to see a way around it. The only way I can deal with it is try to remember that nothing stays the same and things change at some point. Well said, Backroads 82. Well said. Listen, if you could all do me a favor, if you could share this live stream out, it is such an important live stream. We've been here for 46 minutes, okay? And we've been here with the same amount of people. There's a lot of people that are missing out on this live stream that could really use it right now, okay? Please take this seriously. Please share this live stream out with as many people as you can because you never know. Tonight, while this live stream is going on, whether I share something or whether you share something in the chat, we might just be able to save a life tonight. Okay? We may not know about it unless someone says, "Hey, you just saved my life." We ain't going to know about it. So if you could do me a favor by simply sharing out this live stream because it might get to that right person, the one that's living with some severe anxiety and depression tonight. All right. We might be able to pull them away from the edge. Shepherd's Home said, I'm tired. This could be, and I am ready to settle. Hold on a second. And I'm ready to settle, but if he says go, let's do it. Exactly. Exactly, brother. Mystic said, when my daughter got married last July, I had a lot of anxiety about seeing my ex husband again. The official Iron Woman said, I felt worthless lately, and now I'm nervous going out my door, as each time I go to the city, I catch something and get sick. And when that happens, I feel like I'm a burden to everyone. Jacob Birch, how you doing? Welcome. I know my aunt on my dad's side died of depression when I was 1 year old. Thank you, Patty, for sharing that out. Thank you so much. Talon Jade said, I'm a burden to everyone, and no one can help me, says Fallon Jade. Adventures with Beth. Ben, I'm a life you saved. I just didn't say anything, but I sure listened. Adventures with Beth. Beth. Oh, amen to that. Amen to that. I am so glad that you're with us. Wow. Wow. Herman the Great. Hey, Herman. Welcome back, brother. Okay, so here's an opportunity that I'm going to give everyone right now. All right, I want to bring people up on the panel to share your story. I want to bring people up on the panel to share their story, what they are living with, okay, or maybe what they used to live with. Now, I've never met a person that was cured of depression and anxiety. Not in my 57 years. I've never met anyone that's been cured. All right. So if you want to come up on my panel and you want to share what you're currently going through or what you have went through, I'd love to bring you up here. And what do you do to just maintain each day, right? What do you do to maintain? If you want to come up here, send me a message on Twitter, right? Now I've got to know you. I'm not just going to bring up any Tom, Dick, or Harry. All right, I've got to know you. Send me a message on Twitter. Say, Cab, I want to come up and I want to share my story. All right. If you have Google Hangouts, send me a message through Google Hangouts. If you got Facebook Instant Message, you can send me a message that way too. But it helps when people come up on my panel and share their story, right? I could sit here and talk all night about this, but I may not be able to help out anyone. But it might be that person that's out in that chat that comes up on this panel that might be able to help out one or two, maybe three, four, five people. Okay? That's why it's so important that I ask people to come up here and share their story. We need to lift some people up. Close friend of my parents was one of the sweetest ladies ever and loved my brothers. And we were her own. She was a police officer and lost her life to depression. It shows it can affect anyone. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Doesn't matter. Depression has no prejudice, right? It doesn't matter what you do for a living. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter what the color of your skin is, what your sexual orientation is. It doesn't matter. Depression and anxiety affects any human being. And that's just a fact. So I hope I can get some people to come up on this panel and share their story, right? But think about this. For those that are too scared to come up here, listen, listen. Let me try to comfort you in some way. You're not going to be judged. All right. When you come up here, you ain't going to be judged by no one. No one's going to judge you. And if that happens, they'll be taken care of. All right. That person will be taken care of. You will not be judged. And think about it this way, you might help another person. Okay. So if you know what it's like to live with depression and anxiety, or you might be a loved one, you might be a loved one that lives with someone with depression and anxiety. I want to hear your stories too, right? It's not just the person that's living with the disease, it's the loved ones too around them that are affected by the person living with depression and anxiety. If you give me just a minute. I will be right back. Okay, I got to use the bathroom. And if I don't, I'm going to be peeing my pants right here. And that ain't going to be good. So give me just a minute. Keep sharing this live stream out. Let people know that we're talking about anxiety, depression tonight, a real thing. All right. And hopefully, we can at least help one person out tonight here at Cab 7 on YouTube. I'll be right back. Okay, I turned off that fan. By God, that's louder than hell. Thank you for being patient. Thank you. Okay. I want to bring people up on the panel that are living with depression or anxiety. I want to bring people up on the panel that um, that may not be living with depression, anxiety, but you have a loved one that you're caring for. Okay, someone that you might be married to, someone that you might be a brother or sister to, a parent to. Right? Okay. Huh. Andrew, Devil Dog Mama, I was extremely depressed for years after I got a divorce, and I took a lot to pull me through. I feel so much better, but I still fight it every single day. That's right. It just doesn't magically go away, right? Yeah, it doesn't just magically go away. I wish it did, but that's not reality. Okay, so I'm going to go over and I'm going to look at my Twitter. All right, I'm going to look at my Twitter, my Hangouts, and if you want to come up on the panel, just send me a message via Twitter, via Facebook Messenger, okay? Facebook Messenger. And I'll bring you up on the panel. Come on, let's talk about this. All right? I don't want to be the only one up here. Let's see. Okay, I've got two people that want to come up. And I'm going to send them both links to come up. You may or may not know these friends, but they've got some real stories to share with all of you out there in the chat, okay? If you want to come up on the panel and share your story, once again, send me a message via Twitter, right? My link is out there in the chat, and my Facebook Messenger, Google Hangouts. Now, I do have Instagram too, all right? I do have Instagram. Okay, let me get a link here. All right. Come on up. Come on up. Both of you come on up. Both of you got links. Come on. Let's talk about this. Thank you, Mudcon and Jenny, for putting those links out there. I appreciate that. There's my Instagram. There's my Twitter. All right. You want to come on? Come on. Come on. No one's going to be judged, okay? I'm telling you, ain't no one going to be judged. You come up as you are. We got Herman the Great up on the panel with us right now.
Good evening, Ben.
How you doing, Herman? Always a pleasure to see you there, brother.
I'm doing all right, Ben. I'm hanging in there. I'm going to try not to cry on panel tonight.
Wait. Okay, hold
I
up.
can avoid it.
Hold up. Okay. Before you go any further, Herman, if you got to cry, man, you cry. All right? It's a human emotion. It's okay to cry. Ain't no one going to say nothing about that. And I've seen you cry many times, brother, because I know that you're hurting, okay? I know that. And I can relate to that. So, brother, if it comes down where you're crying, bro. Right? That's all right. And we got Little Red the Fan. She's up on the panel along with us. Little Red, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Hey, Little Red.
Hanging in there.
Hello.
Okay, so Herman, you came up on the panel here first, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up the floor to you to share your story, man. Now, not everyone knows your story, and there's quite a bit to it. I mean, this has been going on for years, okay? And I know Herman from the get-go, from day one for about the last 5 or so years, maybe 6 years now. All right. So I'm going to actually go on mute. And Herman, take it away, brother.
Well, Ben, as you said, I have quite the story. It's been a long, long battle with mostly anxiety. A pretty good majority, I would say 95% of it is anxiety and a little bit of depression. And of course, with recent changes that I've made, it's gotten a lot worse. I thought these changes would make it better, and they probably will in the long run. But the thing I'm really going to explain is I've moved from my previous city to a new city where I know a few people here and there, but I'm just like constantly assailed with the thoughts of oh, no one's gonna like you here. Oh, everyone's gonna hate you. Everyone's going to. Oh wait, I forgot to do this before I start. I gotta take this mask off. This is the mask I always wear of anxiety. It masks everything. Honestly, Ben, my story is an interesting one, but this started when I was probably. I'm gonna get into the start of this first before I go on further. But it started when I was in high school, or even before that, getting bullied by so many people and getting beat up practically every day at a Christian school, no less. It was a Christian school, but as we know, a Christian school is not always Christian, sadly. But I mean, many people would go after me. They'd call me all these names. They'd call me gay. They'd call me all this stuff. They'd use all these horrible names. They'd call me a retard. They'd call me all these things. So I believed them. I believed all these. I believed all those things at the time. I believed, oh yeah, I'm just a retard. Oh yeah, I guess I'm gay. They'd use the F word. I'm not going to use it, but they would use that. I will not use that because out of respect for people, that may be watching out there, and you as well.
Hold on a second. Fucking A, Herman. Go ahead and just use that word. I use it, and by the way, it's my favorite word in the whole world. And if you don't know that by now, then you've been living under a rock a while.
No,
It's okay. It's okay. If you want to use the word fucking, fucked, fucker, you go right ahead, brother.
Yeah, Ben, that's not the word I'm talking about. It's the derogatory word toward gay people that I don't want to use.
Oh yeah, okay.
But they would call me that. But they would call me that. But yes, they'd call me a fucking F word, basically, a lot. And I was like, wow. So yeah, I was trying to spare the that other word. But anyway, and I mean, obviously I never believed that, but I believed the retard thing. When they called me a retard, I was like, oh yeah. And nowadays, I've just moved. I'm now on my own, fully living in a place on my own. It's great to live here, but I have all these thoughts every single day. I have all these thoughts like, oh, you're stupid, you're dumb. No one wants to be around you. Da 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 da. There's this, there's that, and in fact, last night I went to a birthday party for a friend up here that I knew previously in my previous visit up here. It's an Orthodox friend. It was a birthday party, and then afterward, a girl that I kind of like her. I mean, I like her. I don't know how she feels about me, but that's okay. She kind of turned to me and said, "Hey, do you and there's another girl up here. Do you guys want to go hang out at a party for my coworkers?" I'm like, well, let me ask, and then I said, okay, well, I can go. So I ended up going with her, and of course, I had instant anxiety when I got to the party. Just like, there was a lot of activity at the party that I'm not used to, like people smoking marijuana, which is fine for them, but I'm not used to that. I'm not used to going to parties where there's marijuana smoking and, drinking. I've been drinking parties, but not marijuana parties. So I ran to my car, and I've never cried so hard in my whole life. I ran to my car, and I didn't want to tell this girl about it, but I did on the drive back home. I had to drive her back home, and I told her about it, and she said, "Why didn't you tell me? We could have left a lot sooner." And I said, "Because I didn't want to ruin your time." She goes, "Nonsense. Are you kidding?" She's like, she got mad at me. She's like, "Are you kidding me right now? You don't want to ruin my time. I mean, I care about you. If you're having a tough time, and she actually hijacked my phone. So, well, of course, I was thinking about, just driving out of there and leaving her there, but I thought that would be mean. So, yeah, there's just a lot going on. I moved in. The story is very jumbled right now because I didn't really get into like what I was really going to say. I just kind of launched up here, but that's okay. Like I said, now I'm just adjusting, like I said, to life on my own. I used to live with, my parents, my brother-in-law and sister. I'm used to having people around. And now, honestly, Ben, I feel like I have nobody, man. I feel like no one fucking cares. I really do. I feel like no one gives a shit about me. It's not true, but I just feel that way. I feel like no one gives a flying crap about me. Oh, it's just Herman. Who cares, And I feel like no one even gives a shit,
Well, Herman, let me tell you now. I think I'm proof. Green Bay Wacky's proof. Lulu Love You's proof. I could name off a whole plethora of people that care about you, that have sat down in private conversations and talked to you. There are a lot of people that care about you, that love you. And I don't know all the other people that talk to you too.
There's a lot
And
of people. I can name one, Cab. I can name another one too. Inculus Spondylitis, aka Ashley. She's like my freaking best friend.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's my best friend.
Yeah.
I can't see the chat right now, chat. By the way, I'm on my phone. I can't see the chat. I can always go over the computer if you need me to, but
okay, got you, brother. Got you.
Can't see the chat, unfortunately. So if you don't say hi to me, hello everybody. If you guys are saying hi to me, and I'm missing the chat, but I was trying to hold it in, Cab. I couldn't hold it in any longer.
But listen,
brother.
but see, I'm coming right back at you. You might be saying those things that you feel like you don't got no one, that no one cares about you, but yet you do. You do. And count yourself very fortunate that you got the people in your life that you do, because there are some people out there in the world that don't have no one. They don't want to have no one.
Right.
They want to be by themselves, period. All right. So you're actually a step ahead of a lot of people out there. And these people, I know several of the people that know you, and they're wonderful people. And you need to keep those people surrounding you. You need to be surrounded by these people. Really do. And I've seen you depressed, but I've seen you come out of it too. Sometimes all it takes is for that one person to step up in your life for a half an hour, couple hours, 4 or 5 hours, and sit down and talk with you. And then all of a sudden, guess what? Herman's cracking it up again. He's making jokes. He's going, thanks. You helped me out. I'm good to go right now. I'm good to go.
The thing is though, Ben, too, and you're absolutely correct. Of course, I agree with you. But the thing is too, I took a week off of therapy, and that hurt me. But I kind of had to. I was in the midst of moving and driving, and so I really couldn't. I really wish I would have said, hey, maybe I could have set aside time for like last Friday or something. But I've been seeing a therapist, so I'm going to be seeing her tomorrow, which I'm really thankful for. I'm really thankful. I've been seeing a therapist for about 6 months, and it helps to just talk to somebody, to talk to a third party that doesn't really know anything about, like the situation, or, if the situation is going on, or just, isn't going to be judgmental. And none of the people that we've mentioned so far, are
I got some good news
people.
for you, Herman.
What's that?
I got some good news. Now, there's people here in this chat right now that love the shit out of you. Okay. Now, there's one particular man out there. He says, Cab, tell Herman I give a tit about him. And you know who that is?
Oh,
It's
gosh.
Mudcon.
Mudcon
Mudcon says he gives a shit about you, brother.
Oh shit, Mudcon, how you doing? I haven't talked to Mudcon in a long time. Yeah. Well, the problem isn't people giving a shit about me. It's me giving a shit about myself. I need to start giving a shit about myself. I just, this move's going to be really great, because I will tell you something, Cab, and I'm not gonna ramble all night, brother. I promise. I know Little Red the Fan has a story to tell too, but I moved to where a really great Orthodox community is, and the Orthodox Church is really important in my life. My faith and everything. So I have an Orthodox community here, and it's going to be really great. In fact, I live right across the road from the seminary that my grandfather founded.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, so it's like from my backyard, I can see the seminary. And of course, I was over there yesterday kind of helping out a little bit. And so, I mean, for my faith, this is a real huge boost in the arm for my faith.
Exactly.
Orthodox Christians that are struggling with the same stuff. And the girl I'm telling you about, I'm keeping her name off of live streams. I don't think she wants to go live, but she's also a fellow Orthodox Christian and a fellow anxiety sufferer as well. So I think she and I, if anything, can help each other as friends. And that's another thing I'm torturing myself with, because last night at the party, and again, I'm not trying to ramble here, Ben, but I will say this. I'll say this. At the party, I also went to my car because I was getting jealous of her talking to other guys at the party, even though there's probably nothing there. You know, she even admitted to me, even I didn't ask her about it, but she told me that one of the guys she was talking with is like one of her really good friends. And of course, I'm at the jealous stage of that. Of
Well,
course,
is it jealousy, or is it that you have a low self-esteem of yourself?
it could be a combination of both. You know, it could be jealousy being manifested by the fact that I have low self-esteem. But she told me on the ride to the party, I kept saying sorry. She's going, I'm gonna have to beat that out of you later. You know, I'm gonna have to beat that out. I'm gonna have to beat that out of you if you keep saying sorry. Like, you sound like you're a Canadian. No offense to the Canadians out there. I'm just, you know. But yeah, she told me, she's like, you know what? You stay around long enough, I'm gonna beat you up. You know, not literally, but you know, say, hey, come on, you need to stop saying sorry. And then she would say sorry too. And so we're too much alike. But it's great to be surrounded by people that understand what I'm going through. You know, and in this community, understanding what I'm going through. So both in the community I'm in here, in the Orthodox community, and the community that we're in here, I have people that know what I'm going through. There's people that are suffering. I want to give a shout out. I don't know this person, but Greg Man. I don't know if Greg Man's still in the chat, but he said he lost his sister. I'm assuming to suicide. I don't want to assume anything, but she didn't want to beat it. Apparently, she had depression. I guess it was that I read in the chat earlier, and I want to give my condolences. I don't know how long ago that happened, but that's really sad to hear. I hate hearing that someone lost their life because they were battling depression, and I don't want to say gave up, but you know, couldn't seek help. But I don't know how tough it is. I've never been in that position where I want to take my own life because of this. But well, actually, that's not true. I had a small, you know, thought moment where I did that, but not anything serious. But you know, I can only imagine, Greg, man, if you're out there in the chat, brother, you have everyone who suffers with this has my prayers, because I know exactly what it's like to suffer with it. It's a daily thing. It's gotten worse lately. You know, Gab, it's gotten way worse for me lately. It's just, you know, people ask me, how you doing today? And I have to say, oh, I'm doing okay. But inside I'm thinking, no, I'm not doing okay.
Okay, I've got a couple things to share with you, Herman, since you can't see the chat.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's see. Texas 3 said, yeah, he's got a great big heart. Always made my day when he went live. There you go. There you go. Not only that, let's see, what else do we have? This is all in relation to you. Joshua Coe said, Herman has a huge heart for people. I always enjoy his company. And what else is there? Let's see. Herman's my freaking spirit animal, says Texas 3.
My gosh, I love that.
Come on, Herman, check it out, brother. You got some support here, brother.
I know. I'm feeling the love, and I of course I've got to say this being me, Ben, but I want to say this. I'm not crying for sympathy, people. I don't cry for sympathy. Right, I don't want people to feel sorry for me. I'm crying because I'm really hurting right now. I'm hurting bad, you know, and I know people out there that know about this. Oh, and by the way, Joshua Coe, I will message you on probably Twitter later. I don't know. I guess I'll figure it out. He wanted me to message him. Oh, and I might be going live. You never know. You never know what I'm going to do on my channel. I might go live every once in a while. I was going to go live about this earlier, but I didn't really know what to say about it. You know, Ben, you always know. I think God like brings it on your heart to bring up these topiks that all of us are suffering with.
No, that's true. That's actually very true.
I think God brought it. Thank God for you, Ben. Seriously, because God just put this on your heart to say, hey, look, and you struggle with it too, Ben. You always struggle with, you know, anxiety as well. And trust me, it's not an easy thing to struggle with, but everybody, we can get through this if we stick together. I left the community about 6 months ago, took a pretty long break, had some problems. I'm not going to get into who I've had problems with necessarily, but I blocked a bunch of people that were really my good friends, and I screwed up on that really bad. I'm not going to get into, you know, the story of who they are, because it doesn't, you know, but that caused me, that was self-inflicted anxiety right there. That caused me anxiety because I did it to myself. You know, it was really bad. And that's kind of when the anxiety started getting bad. And then it got better. So
in other words, you're saying anxiety has the possibility of becoming irrational, right?
It definitely can. It definitely can make you irrational. And, you know, of course, I not to get into this too far either, but I also ended a relationship too that just, for me, it wasn't working, and that was not really the irrational part, but the blocking of the people was just the irrational part, and it's terrible. And I'm trying to make up for it, but I in time, hopefully things will get better. And I'm gonna try. I said to a friend recently, a really good friend recently, that at least this time, I'm trying to face the problems and not run away from them, not go, okay, I gotta go, guys, I gotta get out of here. It's like, it's fight or flight, but now I'm going to say, you know what, I got to fight this. It has to be fought. And it can be achieved. Everybody, if you think it can't be achieved, it can be. You may not fully beat anxiety or depression or any kind of mental health, but you can at least, get to where hopefully God willing, I can get there too. But I want to get to the point with me for my anxiety, and anyone else out there, hopefully they get to this where they can at least cope with it. And, it's not easy though.
To get to that point where it's like manageable,
Right? Exactly.
But that's never guaranteed, because when it comes to that depression and anxiety, it's at different levels. One day it's like, okay, today I'm feeling great, right? And ain't nothing gonna ruin my day today. And then the following day can be quite the opposite, right?
Right. Yeah. Because with me, it's also stress with work. And my work is really, even though I work from home, I'm stressed 24/7 with work. I dream, eat, and sleep work, in a certain sense. The work's very stressful. That causes me some anxiety as well. And
sure it does.
My supervisor called me right before I got on here and started screaming at me for something that I did. And I was like, what did I do? And he go, oh, you did this wrong. You entered this thing wrong. I go, what? I did? Like, what did you do? And I go, what do you mean, what did I do? I didn't do anything. Did you change this and this? And this? I was like, no. They're like, yeah, you did. And then they screamed at me and hung up the phone and said, I'm going to call somebody else and ask them about it. I'm like, and it's a family business, so you can imagine, but this is not a member of my family. This is somebody she might as well be a member of my family. I've known her for many, many, many years, my life. So she's practically an aunt, I guess, but there's a lot of stuff going on, Ben. But I don't want to take too much time. I can step down and have Little Red the Fam start her story, or whoever else. I don't know if anyone else popped in.
Well, I wanted to share this. Grace Logan Vlog said, I'm just happy that I saw the real thing and I can heal and know truths and just move forward. And Greg Man said, Cab, everybody has a good chat and a good night. Much love and support to everyone. So that's Greg Man. Greg, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I really appreciate that, and helping Herman out. He appreciates it.
Yes, definitely.
And I want to say hello to John Brock. John, good to see you. Thank you for hanging out here at Cab 7 on your break. You're working at Walmart, busting the hump, and you decided to stop here and hang out, and I appreciate it, brother. I hope you're doing well.
And
so yeah,
before I step,
what you go through is very real, Herman, and I have witnessed it many times over the years. And what I like about you, Herman, is that you're not afraid to ask for help.
Right.
You are not afraid to ask for help, and you've got a group of people that you can go to. If one person's not there, try the next person. If that person's not there, try the next person, right? It's good that you've got that, because like I said earlier, some people don't have that. They have no one to fall back on.
Right.
No one.
Definitely. And if I can't reach people that I only know online, I can always reach everyone in this Orthodox community or the community in general here.
Sure.
There's a lot of people to reach. There's a lot of people to reach out to. But Cab, I'm going to step down with that. But thank you for having me up here. I love you, brother. You might be getting a call from me too. You never know. I might give you a random call here and there. You never know. Yeah.
Okay.
You never know. I love you, brother.
Good,
love you, Little Red the Fan. Thank you for writing what you wrote in our side chat here. I appreciate it. And I love you too.
Here for you.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. Love you guys.
Take care, Herman. All right. So now we got Little Red the Fam here, and she's got definitely a story to share with all of us as well. Little Red the Fam, I'm going to give you the floor. You go right ahead, and you got to say what you got to say, girl.
Well, with Herman, I was bullied in school before, and I had to live with her. And with my children, I had to raise them to be resilient, because the bullies are 10 times worse now let my kids come back and how they're being picked on. My daughter's intellectually challenged, so she's 14 but looks 8 years old, and people pick on her. So I have to deal with not only my depression, anxiety, I also have to deal with my kids that I bring on my shoulder, but having them, I can raise them to be bigger and better than the other people. And also, I was in a narcissistic marriage for 14 years. I tried to get out when it hit 12 years, but he was using the kids against me and I couldn't let them go through it. So I went back, and then it got worse that I started YouTube, and a lot of people probably saw my background, my YouTube. I was in my bedroom the whole time. I stuck myself there to get away from the abuse. That was my safe space. It's like someone with my daughter has a blanket, it's her safety blanket. So that room was my safety. I was eating there. It was everything but going to the bathroom. And if I left, I was on a time limit. My phone was being blown up. Like, what am I doing? Where am I at? So I went to YouTube. I went to a friend, and now where I'm living is I met him through my husband, my ex-husband 12 years ago. And then he got me out. He's like, I'll help you. So I was going to him, and he literally got me out. The minute I got out, I was like, this is what it is on the outside. Because I was living thinking my marriage was a marriage, but it wasn't. And I got out my phone. I had to get a protective order, and I had to stay strong. I had to go to court against my ex, and I had to put a power suit on, and I had to turn my emotions off. It was hard. It takes a lot to turn my emotions off. That my attorney even said he was scared because I turned it off so bad no one could read me. But it's like I had the power. I got out. I got my kids. I had protective order because it was now they call it a emotional distress. It's not mental abuse now in the court system. It's emotional distress. So I had that against him, that I had a protective order now for a year. I blocked him out. Like when I'm in court and I had to sit, he was in like on my side view. I didn't even see him. I looked straight ahead. I had to take the power. I had to say, I can do this. I'm not going back, because he wanted me to come back. He was trying everything to get me back. He was buying me stuff. He's like, oh, I got this. I got to, like, was getting back surgery. He was like, oh, I bought a bed. He was trying everything to get me back before my protective order. And after my surgery, I said, I can't take it. I have to heal. So I literally took the power and blocked him out, blocked him on my, well, I couldn't block him on my phone because of the kids, but I had to go to court. And then seeing that the court was finally being on my side and seeing its emotional distress, this is something going on. The court granted me my kids to be with me more than him. It was just so much. I didn't know I was going to be able to do it. Like I kept on, when I got to the protective order, I was like, should I just drop it and go back? And everybody's like, no, you're getting there. And everybody was there for me, because I'm like, my anxiety, my depression, I'm like, well, I have to go back. He's the father of my kids. And it was all about the kids. And they're like, no, you need to fight for your kids. And my daughter now, being 14, and I'm afraid of her father. And I see that they can be brainwashed that I'm here to help my own children right now. And it's hard, but I have a lot of people saying you're halfway there, and I am. Now, right now, I got the custody and the protective order. Now it's like divorce and all that, and I'm halfway there. And I'm like, wow, I didn't give up. I literally kept to my guns. I'm being empowered. I took the power. I'm a woman. Like no one can control me, and it's better outside that room I was in when I was on YouTube for a year. People seeing me in my room. It's better on the outside. And when people say the grass isn't greener on the other side, yeah, it is. I seen it, and it's like, wow, I'm living better. I'm healthier. People saw like I was losing weight because I was eating so much. I was stuck in a room, and they were seeing it. And now my kids are seeing it, and they're happier than be, even though they're like, yeah, they have less time with their father, but it's less time for them to get brainwashed because now they're away. They're seeing it all too. So I literally helped myself and helped my children. And I want to be out there to help other women or other men, that because men can be in that same thing. It's not just women. I'm here to help them to grab the power, because if I can do it, and I'm just a little person that I thought I was going to give up and go back, but power, I like it. I put on that power suit with black jacket, black pants, all like nice, and like I got the power, and it helped me in court, just dressing like I had the power in my hands going, you're not getting me back. I'm going to beat you at your game. And I was like, you want to play a game? Okay, let's go, because I'm going to beat you at it. And he called one of my friends to contact me. She goes, he called me again and he said he lost. I'm like, well, I'm sorry he lost, but I literally had all the proof, because while sitting in my room, I was collecting all the evidence that I could. So when I got out, I had all the proof, because he isolated me. for about 7 years. He isolated me from my friends, my family. I could only go to if it's my kids, but I had a time limit. So I was isolated. But I went to YouTube, I went to Twitter. I literally made another Facebook without his friends to talk to other people, and they all helped me. And it's like, it's so much better on this side that I'm glad I'm halfway there and I didn't give up. Like last time I gave up and I went back, and he could have killed me and my kids and no one would have known because I've been isolated. But now everybody knows that I'm on the outside, and now I'm beating him at his game and he's not liking it. And my thing is, I'm tearing him down. He tore me down for years. Now it's my turn to take the reins. And it's sad, but I'm going to be taking the house from him. I'm going to take everything from him because of what he did to me.
Wow. Wow. You kind of sound like the superhero that's just come into town and they're going to take care of business.
I say, yeah, like I saved a person from OD. I just had that feeling. I'm like, man, I got to go check on them. And that was before I was isolated. And when I have a feeling, like I with the paranormal, I'm an empath and I can feel things and I hear things. And I went over there and she was laying with a spoon right in front of her face. And I turned her over, called 911. The mom thought it was me that did it. I'm like, look, call the 911 or get the recording because they recorded it. And like, listen to the recording. I saved your daughter's life. And after the hospital, and she called and she got that recording, she hugged me. She goes, anything you need. Thank you for saving my daughter. You gave her. I said, I gave her a second chance. I said, just
Wow.
keep her away from that drug. So, and I do nursing. So I put that in thing. If I can help somebody, they can talk to. I've been there. I've done that. It's like, I already know what's on one side and now I'm on the other side and I want to help other people. Like I want to make something sooner to help people. Like it's almost like, I have a friend that's in AA and she goes, there's women out there, it's just like battered women. It's not just AA. I'm like, I want to make something like that where it's like every Wednesday, these women that can get on a video check, like say, oh, I'm just on YouTube watching people and like on a phone call just to get that 1 hour of getting help.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, I like when people have those kind of ideas and then they take that idea and they do something about it. And I believe that we need those kind of groups, support groups, right? People that all come from the same kind of background. Okay, we're being abused, or we have alcohol in the family, or drug problems in the family, or whatever it might be. To be able to stand up to the plate and say, you know what, I'm going to take the reins here, and there's people out there that need to be lifted up, and we can do that together. So I think that's a great idea. I really do.
That's something that I'm looking into. Like right now with the whole divorce, and I'm still halfway there. I want to do it after because I always tell people I'm not mentally healed yet because I still have to go and I still have to face him, and I gotta turn my like I don't want to be like to somebody and my emotions are turned off and I can't be there for somebody else because like when I turn my emotions off, it takes me 2 days to get that emotion back on because I have to deal with court. But yeah, it's something I definitely want to do, and I want to start on Twitter, and maybe some people see like the tweet and tweet it out or just get some help. Like I know there's a lot of people that are scared like to talk. Like I'm talking to everybody else here. I know there's a lot of people like they're scared or they think they're being watched by their loved one. Like I had that happen where I was stalked. Any people's YouTube I was on, my ex would watch what I was doing, watch where my kids were in the background. So I know a lot of people are just scared to say something, thinking that their soon to be ex or who they're living with is going to watch them. So I do want to start doing that and help people get away, to take the reins, take the power, get the heck out of there, because you never know. I watch crime stuff on TV and people that stayed and being beaten up. You don't know when your last day is going to be, and I want to save them so they don't have that last day and they don't have to worry, am I going to wake up alive tomorrow? Am I going to wake up and I'm walking on eggshells and he's going to beat me and that's going to be my last? So I definitely want to help people get the heck out. And there's women's shelters, there's men's shelters out there that I did call them and they're like, well, if you have a place to go, we can't help you. And I'm like, F them, it doesn't mean I don't have a place to go. I'm like, I had to hide. I had to go out of state. I live in Maryland. I had to be literally, I'm in PA now. I had to get
Right.
out of state to get away. Now I crossed that state line. He can't mess with me. If he's following me and I go on the other state line, it's like, okay, now I got another jurisdiction to go after you. So I do want to help other women out there and men if they
You
want to
know,
talk to.
I've always believed that the best therapist out there is not the therapist that sits in a posh office, right? And saying absolutely nothing to you, just listening to you, right? While you sit in a chair or while you're laying on a couch. The best therapist out there is that other person that can say, I get it. I've been there. I've done it. A lot of therapists, psychiatrists, and psychologists, right? They're paid because they're book smart. They're paid because they're book smart, not because they've been there and done it, but because they're book smart. I think I would get more from a person that says, I've been there, I've done it, than to that doctor that's only book smart, right? That's just the way I feel.
Saying that, I told my attorney because he's like, the judge took a very liking to me with the whole thing. So I didn't become his attorney was trying to get me emotional, and I had my emotions turned off, and he got all pissed off. And my attorney's like, "Wow." And I said, "You know what? I can't go to jail. I'm too pretty and too smart." And he goes, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "What do you?" He's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Oh, I got a lot more," because I was helping my attorney. I'm like, "Ask this, ask this, ask this," because I knew so much to get him knocked down so I could win in court. That when I see someone goes, she's taking the house, I'm like, yeah, because I'm on the deed, but I'm not on the mortgage. And that's the best thing ever because he cannot pay. He's not paying for the house, so he could lose the house, but I get half the house. So because of what he did to me for years, I'm taking the power and I'm taking him down. Like I'm going to make him lose the house and everything. But my attorney's like, wow, you are smart because some people want to be on the mortgage to be on the deed. And if you're ever getting married and all that, you don't have to be on the mortgage. Get your ass on that deed. If something happens, and he doesn't pay for the house or she doesn't pay for the house, you're on that deed and it doesn't even matter. You can still get half that house.
All right.
That's why I said I'm too pretty and too smart because I was thinking stuff during my whole marriage. I'm like, no, I don't want to be on the mortgage. Let me be on the deed. You pay for the house, da da da. I was doing stuff and I was just marking it down because I'm like, one of these days something's going to happen to him or something's going to happen to me. And I got out because it was my last chance. It was like, I can't live like this. It was horrible. Ben, I met you in October and you probably like, you saw me like kind of blown up and kind of like, I was dragging that day because and that guy who was with me is the one I'm living with now. He was trying to help me get out. He was being my safe haven. And he was like, he was trying to help me that day. Look what's on the other side. You don't need to go back. So that's why he was with me. And everybody thought he was my boyfriend. I'm like, yeah, he's my boyfriend because I didn't want to deal with it. But he helped me. And that day I started moving my stuff slowly. Like when my ex would leave, I packed my car up, came here, dropped my stuff off. Just like, oh, I just gave it to Goodwill. Just things. And it was slowly led to the day him and he's like, I'm done. I'm like, all right, I'm out. He said he was done. I was gone. I'm like, so he said, get my furniture. And it was one day I had a bunch of people and it was a rainy day and I knew he wasn't going to be home and I grabbed my stuff and got out. But just because I got out doesn't mean I can't lose the house because we had a deal with the kids. So I said I would take the kids, but he was giving me less time with the kids. Now I have more time with the kids. And now the next step is the divorce in the house. And I'm sorry, you tear me down, I'm taking you down too.
I want to thank Herman the Great. Ben, I love you, brother. You're a true inspiration to us all. Herman, thank you, man. But Herman, realize that you're also an inspiration to us too, right? You're also an inspiration to us. And there's a lot of people out there that enjoy your company, man. And there is no doubt about that. Thank you, Herman. Thank you. Well,
I was going to respond to Here Be Reverence. It sounds like she has it all figured out. When I talking to people on Instagram and Facebook, when he was sleeping downstairs on the couch. So like I said, I was stuck in the bedroom. He wasn't living in the bedroom with me. I was talking to people and they were helping me. And like I said, the guy I'm with now, he grabbed me up and he's like, I have a house for you and the kids. And I didn't have money to, get a divorce. He helped me with the money. He's like, here's attorney, here's a shark.
wow.
So you want to go with the sharp ones and you want to get all the information, like get anything you can. All those secrets that they tell you, like I knew he wasn't paying the mortgage. I knew he was taking my stimulus check. So I'm fighting for that too. I haven't had my stimulus check. He pocketed all. So
Wow.
in court, he admitted that he never gave me other stimulus checks. So and I'm like, if I didn't tell my attorney, the court wouldn't know and the court wouldn't have that on document. So little things that you think that aren't going to help you if you want to get out is going to help you. Get it in text. Like that's the thing. I had it all in text. Like I wouldn't talk to him like in person. Like if he was downstairs, I'd text him. So always getting in text or email, or now they're using Facebook Messenger. Get that. So if you need to get out and you have all that stuff, keep it. Like, I had to get another phone. I have my old phone my daughter's playing on, but it has all those text messages, everything. And I had a screenshot and then print it out. But definitely now Facebook is now being used in court. So don't think, it's only on social media. They're using it now.
Well, I think that's wonderful. I think that's wonderful. If it's gonna help someone out, yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm here. I've been there. I'm healthier. I'm happy.
You look better, girl. You do.
Oh yeah. A lot. Like, being in a box, like when I got out and I came back for my stuff, it smelled, and people are like, I didn't even notice the smell because you're living in there. He wouldn't help me clean, and I was, like I said, I had back issues. I had to get back surgery. I'm a lot better. I was walking with a walker, but now I can walk around and drive. But I couldn't do much, and he didn't do much, and it stunk. I'm like, oh my God, I've been living. It's like, how much more, many more months? If I lived in that stink, like, would it killed me respiratory, like anything? So definitely, you never know until you get out, and then when you go back, you see what you lived in.
Right. And see, now this is what I admire is people that can share a real story. These are the people that I admire, people that I it's kind of like a moth to a flame, right? I like when people keep it real, people that have been through some shit in their lives. And that's the kind of friends I want. Those are the kind of friends I like, ones that keep it real. Mm.
Like they say, been there, done that, have the shirt for it, and I'll help other people. Like I said, it's not just women that's dealing with it; it's men too. A lot of people are like, oh, it's just women. No, it's not. There's some women out there that are bossy and will take the reins, and the guys are just, the bitch is what they call it. The guys are their bitch, the female's bitch.
Sure.
Sorry. And so I always say it's not just females, and I hate that when they say it's just females. No, it's not. And like I said, I don't care if it's a male or female. If you guys want to come to me, I have Instagram, I have Facebook, I have Twitter, I have my own YouTube channel. I'm here to help. I will help. Like, I got out and I didn't fall back. I didn't go back to him. I'm out. I'm doing this court thing, even though it costs a lot of money, but people are helping me because I need to get out. And my thing is, I know people don't have kids, but I'm doing it for my kids. My daughter is afraid to go back. When we have to do an exchange, I have to go to the police barracks so he can get his kids to see him, because he didn't see him for a month because of protective order. I had the kids full custody for a whole month for this whole court thing. And my daughter was screaming and holding on to the car. She said, I don't want to go. And I'm like, you have to go. It's in the court. I'm like, just right now. It's temporary. And it's sad. I had to get a cop just to get my daughter out of the car. That's how much she doesn't even want to go back. But they're only going back to their father for 52 hours. I counted it. It's 52 hours. So I keep on telling them it's just 52 hours. Count down the hours. You're going to see me soon. You're going to come back. It's only temporary. This temporary. I'm like, and she's going to have a voice. She's going to tell him. And it's sad that she doesn't want to go back to her father. She's scared of him. She doesn't even, all she kept on saying is, I'll go there. I'll pack all my stuff up. Mom, come and get me. I want to move in with you. I don't want to see dad ever again. But it's like, right now I can't, but I keep on telling her, I'm going to get there. We're going to get there. Like, just keep on doing what you do. She's 14, but she's mentally 8, but she knows what's going on. And being here, she's better, like a lot more than when I was there, because she was hiding, not social. And now that she's out, she's a social butterfly. She's on games and Roblox and all that. And like, she wasn't doing that when she was stuck in that house with me. So she's growing. She's growing now too.
Good. I like to hear that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's on Discord and all that. I'm like, man, what the? And she's typing. And then she's got this boy. I'm like, okay, well, at least it's virtual. It's a cute boy.
Yeah. She needs to be careful. Those young men out there. Huh?
Yeah, I had her watch. It was on Netflix. It's on Netflix. It's the internet, like Killer on the Internet or something, where they show like these kids talking to these people on the internet, and they're guys and they get killed. And I'm like, I showed her, I said, this is what the reality is. And like, it wasn't when I grew up, because we just got internet in 1990. So it's like, I grew up in there, with dial up and AOL. So I had a different thing, but now I'm telling her, I'm like, no, you can't do that. And So I'm like, at least it's virtual. You can talk on virtual. You can have babies on virtual. You can have a boyfriend on virtual. That's fine. But mentor in person, when they're in person, I want their social security number. I want to know where they live, their number, what's their parents' name. Do they have Facebook? I'll search them. I know, like, I can case search where I can look up people's background and if they got arrested and all that. I'm like, I'm really touchy with anybody near my kids now because it's like I'm now out in the world. I know what's out there now, and it's like I got to protect them now.
Joshua Coe says your happiness and mental health are more important than all the cost of the lawyers, etc. Good on you, Little Red the Fan.
Yep. Like a lot of people are helping me, and I said I'll pay you back, and they're like, "That's fine." I had to write a agreement with the guy I'm with. You know, he's my boyfriend now, but I'm paying him back because it's not his burden. I'm not getting a divorce from him, so I'm paying him back as much as I can. I'm, selling stuff. I'm doing my dog business, and I'm paying him. But he's here. I'm like, you're giving me a house to live in. I'm helping you with food because my kids are here and I got to feed them. So It's like, you're giving me a house. I'll pay, you can pay this and I'll pay you. And it's like, I'm paying rent almost, but it's just paying off my attorney. But yeah, I don't know how much longer if I was there, if I would have been dead. I don't know. And I'm glad I'm out.
I'm glad you are
He's
too.
crazy. He was stalking and everything. That's why I say it. I said it in court, like in the first begin with, I said, oh, he's mentally abusing me. And the judge is like, you mean emotional distress? And like, oh yeah, because they don't say mental abuse anymore. So if anybody goes to court for protective order and they say mental abuse, it won't get you. If you say emotional distress, it will. Because I was in court filing protective in front of the judge, and my phone was on next to me, and he was he was texting me while I was in court. So he found out I was in court, parked 3 cars down from my car while I was in court to get the protective order, and then messages me that he has a restraining order and I'm not going to get the kids. Well, I got out 2 hours later. He had a protective order, but because I had the protective order first, it trumped his. So he thought he was going to get me and get the kids and all that, but I got it first. So it's like, that's emotional distress when he fought. I don't know how he found out I was there because I left when he was taking the kids to school. So I left before he even knew where I was. So somehow we don't know if he had a tracker on my car, on my phone. That's why I got a new phone. We didn't know if he was tracking everything because he knew where I was. He knew where my car was parked, and to park 3 cars away from mine. It was like, you really are trying to intimidate me. And to say he got an order and I didn't, but mine trumped him. It was just like, like I win, like you're going down. So if anybody tries to say emotional abuse, it's now emotional distress. So don't say emotional, or don't say mental abuse. It's emotional distress. It's now a thing.
See, now I won't remember that unless someone tells me 100 times.
Emotional distress. Not mental abuse. Don't say like, I don't know why they took it out, but that's now gone, and now it's emotional distress. So if people say, oh, they're mental abusing, it's emotional distress, because it's like stalking, it's harassing, that's now covered on like the mental abuse one. So it's emotional distress.
Huh. Well, it almost sounds like it's too pretty. Emotional distress, that sounds too pretty. It sounds more disturbing and more realistic when someone says mental abuse. And that comes in 2 different forms, physical and mental, right?
Well, it's physical abuse. You can prove if you have marks and all that. That's over an hour. That stays on your body over an hour. If you have that in pictures, that's physical abuse. But mental is now emotional, because it's a big wide range. Because mental is someone that they could tell you stuff like how bully and all that. That's mental. So the emotional distress is the stalking. Like if he's blowing me up, because one day I had 40 missed calls, 30 Facebooks, 5 Twitters. Like that's literally is emotional distress because he's harassing me. Like that's how bad this guy was, my ex. 40
you're
missed
not
calls.
having any of these problems now, are you?
No, because I have the protective order. He can't contact me anything. Like we can be, my son plays football, so he can be on the other side because I'm the photographer. I'm team mom, so I have to be on the field. So he can be away. He just can't talk to me. He can't have any communication. Only communication is through email, but it has to be about the kids. So if I know, like my daughter had summer school, so I emailed him and texted him. So I have proof going, hey, your daughter has summer school, or like with their shot with the COVID, because they have to have it for school. I text and email. I'm only doing it once, but it's about the kids. And I have that record going, hey, I message him like I was going to get the kids the COVID shot, but because right now is joint custody, but even though he has 52 hours, we have to say yes or no to the shot, any medical stuff. So it's like I have that proof, but I can't do it unless I get his approval, which sucks, but I'll have that in court going, who's the best interest of the kids? I try to get my kids a shot so they can go to school, physical, but he didn't let me and he didn't say yes. Or it's just a lot of things that you don't think would help you, but it's going to help.
Oh, I don't know if anyone out in the chat can relate to everything that Little Red the Fam has been talking about. But I'll tell you, it's almost like night and day. Little Red the Fam from, a couple of years ago to Little Red the Fam here in 2021, July. My goodness. Wow.
I took the power. I didn't think I could do it, but I did, because I was like, no one's going to want me. I'm stuck. That's with the depression and the anxiety. You don't think anybody's out there to help you, and you think, I got nothing else, so I'm just going to be stuck in this marriage, not happy. I'm only here for the kids. And I'm thinking, I'm only here for the kids, but the kids are being abused too, not just me, because they're seeing it. My daughter looks exactly like me, and we think she's being treated the way she is because he sees me and her.
Mm.
And I think that's why she doesn't want to go back, is because he is doing mental abuse, brainwashing her.
Right.
I want to say mental abuse too, because it's like brainwashing. 'Cause when they come back, I have to de-brainwash. And like, it's 52 hours with him. What the heck does he do with these kids? I'm like, I know they sleep, but it's like they come back and she has a meltdown. I have to bring her out of the meltdown. So it's like, if I still was there, she would never be no social butterfly. She's growing. She wants to go camping and fishing, and that's what we're doing now. And like, we never did that when I lived with the ex. We didn't go fishing. The ex was always gone with his biker group. And it's like, I was home with the kids. We were stuck because God forbid if I left, I had to tell him where I was going, all that, but he didn't tell me where he was going. So,
I shared that earlier because we were talking about the people that abuse others that are living with depression and anxiety, and that's three whammies. You got depression, anxiety, and then you got abuse. And my sister went through that, where she was timed going to the grocery store. Everything was timed. She had no friends. She was not allowed to have friends. And if she did, God forbid, the wrath of hell is going to come down on her, right? And he would go as far as calling these friends and telling them lies about my sister. And then she would lose that friend because they would believe him. He would go to any length to make sure that her life was going to be miserable as his.
isolation. That's what it's called. It's called isolation. I got that too. I was losing people. My only friends was what his friends were. And his friends didn't care for me, but they were just there because they were friends with me because I was married to him.
Right.
But all my other friends were like, we would talk and I have a friend and bam, they're gone. I'm like, what the? And he goes, oh, don't worry about them. They were just bad for you. Blah. No, because he messaged them and got them to not like me and all that. And then said something that I probably said whatever and all that. And then when I got out, I talked to these friends. They're like, yeah, he said this, this, this. So it's like, I finally found out what he was doing. I'm like, he was isolating me. And so I found someone he didn't like, but they were there. And that's the guy I'm with. I met him, like I said, through my husband 12 years ago. And he didn't like him. And he's like, well, I don't like him because he's doing this. And he showed me everything he was doing. I'm like, I need to get out. He's like, let's go. Come live with me. I'm not with anybody. I always liked you. And that's when I brought in October. And he was literally in my ear, like, he's calling you. Oh my gosh. Why? Like, he was there telling me, like, no man should call you like 5 times, maybe, one call, leave a message or text, not keep on calling you. And I had someone there that he didn't like, and that was seeing like, oh my God, I was isolated, and people coming out and telling me, I'm like, and he was even trying to hit on my female friends, and they were now finally telling me, I'm like, why didn't you tell me then? They're like, because we didn't think you were going to believe us. I'm like, oh my God.
Texas 3 said, I don't go to court and I don't call for help. I would have gotten violent ages ago. Little Red's got patience. No names way. JS. Just saying. Lulu Love You said, I lived that life. And Lulu Love You's definitely got a story that she could share too. And it does, it wakes people up. When you hear it from someone that you really care about, you hear their story, it wakes you up. It's like, wow, I would have never guessed that. I am so sorry that you had to deal with that.
Yeah, and with Texas and no court, yeah, I went to court 2 years ago, and I thought it was all about the guy because I had to pay the child support, and I wasn't working. And I had my first back surgery, and they wanted me to pay him almost $400 a month child support. I'm like, I'm not even working. And then they had said that I had to live with my parents, even though my parents said, yeah, they could, but they're like, the court didn't even ask them if I could live there. I was just placed there. And like all this stuff, and like the court was, that's why I went back, because I'm like, my kids, I wasn't getting my kids. I was only getting them Thursday to Sunday. And I'm not working. I was a or school. And I'm like, why are they going there? I can take them. So it finally, like, I was going there, and then now I was there for the kids, because I'm like constantly driving back from my parents to his house just for the kids because he worked. So, and I'm like, and I went back to court, and I kept on thinking, it's not going to be in my favor again. Here we go again. They're going to decide with him. Hell, did that change my mind? Like, they decided with me. And it's like, I got the kids. He has to pay me child support. And it's like, finally, it's my turn. Because all I thought was going back in, I was like, they're going to decide with him. He works. He's the working dad. I just had back medication because I just had surgery. And it's, nope, it went bad for him because he was saying all this stuff, put my stuff out in the rain, told me to come get it when I was in surgery, tried to call my insurance to cancel my insurance while I was underneath the knife. I was scared when I found out the day after, like when I came out and like, did the surgery go fully? And they're like, oh yeah, everything went well. You got, 6 pins and 2 rods. Because him saying he was going to cancel my insurance, I thought they were going to cut me halfway open, dissect my L4, L5 disc, and then closed me up and couldn't do the rest of what they had to do because they had to take out my old hardware and put in with I can't even think. I was talking to somebody about it. Cadaver bones. So I have a dead person's bones in my back.
Okay.
But I didn't think they were going to do it because he was going to cancel my insurance. And the insurance is now suspended right now. But I'm glad my surgery went through because I have to say I'm living here. I have custody of my kids. It's like so much I have to deal with because he did it. But he told the court, oh, the state and government called him out of the blue. And the judge saw right there, go, they don't call you out of the blue. You have to like call some and say something. So he did, and he got caught in court. So that bit him in the butt too, because I had that in text where he said, I'm canceling da 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 while I was in surgery. I'm like, that looks bad. When someone goes, I'm going to call this while you're in surgery on a surgery you need to live, to walk. I was popping medication before my back surgery. Now I'm barely on medication because I feel so much better. But I'm like, what if my insurance did cancel? What if they called the hospital, or I got that big bill my insurance didn't pay for because he canceled it and I can't pay for it and I'm more in debt because he was trying to do something to get me back?
Well, let me ask you. So currently, are you on medications for depression or anxiety?
No, I take CBD.
Okay,
There's
CBD.
CBD weed. I don't take medication
Okay,
because I
okay,
don't want that used in court because
okay,
a lot of medication can be used in court because he was trying to say that I was popping more pills than I was, and I was on Oxy. I was on Oxy because of the hospital. So it was a morphine and Oxy for my pain. And he was trying to say I was popping all this stuff. I never got my next refill because I was on Oxy 10. So after those, you go to Oxy 5 to, detox from, being on it for a month. I never refilled that 5. I had that in court. And like, oh, I was popping Oxy and all that. Here's the prescription I was supposed to refill, and I never did it. And it went bad for him. They're like, wow. And I'm like, and me popping pills and all that, here's my morphine. Here's more than I should have. I'm like, here's the date I'm supposed to go back. But I got 2 weeks worth still of this medication. So it shows that I'm not popping because he kept on saying to the court, she has no more meds. She's taking more than she's supposed to. She's ran out, blah, blah. And I had it all. I'm like, here it is. I have so much more medication. I'm like, if I'm taking more than I shouldn't have 2 weeks worth because I'm not trying to take them. And I went to CBD weed instead of THC because the THC he can say, oh, she's high or she's tired and she can't take care of the kids, da 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 da. So I
So do you
went
think that? Let me ask your opinion. Do you think that the CBD is helping better than any of the medications that you were on?
because I have ultra rapid metabolism. So a 8-hour Tylenol works only 4 hours for me.
Okay.
So the medication that I was on, I had a test done. That's how I knew I was ultra rapid metabolism with medication.
Right.
None of it was working because my body was eating it. So like medication you would take, and it's like, oh, you can take every 4 hours as needed. It was only working 1 hour, and then I just couldn't do it. So that's why I went to the CBD, because I'm like, if my body's eating through all this medication, I don't want my body to literally depend on meds, and hurt my liver, hurt my pancreas, hurt my kidneys because I'm taking more and they're up in the dose and it's just not working.
Okay, but
And
hold on a second. My question is, because this is going to help other people out there in the chat,
Mhm.
is the CBD helping you out?
Yeah.
Okay, so it does actually work.
Oh yeah. When I get shaky, I get really shaky, and when you're drawing and all that, my hand's shaky,
Sure.
and I start doing that, and I'm not shaking. I'm like mellowed out.
Okay.
Like even though I'm like talking really like fast, but it's like I'm mellowed out. I wouldn't have came up here and talked to anybody if I wasn't getting the CBD, because the medication, it probably knocked me out, because I try to get my kids off medication. My son's on ADD meds and he's like, it don't even work, and he wants to get off of it because he knows, he's like, medication ain't gonna work for you, Mom. Why is it gonna work for me?
Right.
And they have ultra rapid metabolism. So if
So let me ask you, you would recommend CBD oil to anyone that is tired of being on medications,
Mhm.
and because you would recommend it is because it worked for you, it could possibly work for them, right?
Always try, like,
Okay.
if you don't want to keep on taking medication, CBD is not illegal. THC, the weed, yeah, that in some states it is. But
All right.
CBD, you can get, it's not illegal. You can get it anywhere. And they do have CBD weed, not just the THC. They do have CBD weed out there. And
Yeah,
it does.
I like hearing the success stories of CBD, because I've heard a lot of them over the years, that CBD oils does work. It's worked for a lot of people.
Actually, Herman, and like with the effects, it depends. Don't take a lot. If you know somebody that has it, ask them like for a little bit to use. Like, hey, can I just try this out? Because that's what I did.
Hmm.
Because my pain management wanted me to get a green card. I'm like, well, if I go to get a green card, I can't go back to medication. What if it didn't work? So I had some people like, hey, try this out, and I tried the THC Kush. Do 3 puffs off that. I was knocked out, passed out, tired, dizzy, and I'm like, I'm staying away from the THC. I'm like,
Right,
no, I can't. And I'm a mom. I'm like, what if I did that and I passed out and my kids, or pedophile
right.
comes running in the house, or I get robbed? So I asked someone with the CBD, and you might think it won't work after 1 or 2 puffs. Just keep on trying. Don't just like medication. When you take it, it's not going to work right away. So it's not gonna like everybody's like, oh, I took the medication, don't work. It's not gonna work in 30 seconds. It's not gonna work in 5 minutes. It takes your body and your stomach with the coating of the pill to go through. So CBD is get a little bit, get a friend if you know somebody, um, ask around, ask your doctor. Your doctors don't know about the CBD, and just
So
ask around
let me
online.
put this out. Joshua Coe said CBD is fantastic for anxiety, especially using CBD leaves to steep a cup of tea. And also, the Iron Woman said CBD oil works for me, but it costs so much money.
That's why you gotta know people. I know people, but it's like,
Lulu Love You made a good point. Check with your doctor about any medications you are on first. I am on CBD oil now, with now THC.
with no THC. She put
Yeah,
no
yeah.
after. Yeah, and that's why I'm like, I watch my medication, but I only take my medication as needed. So at night, if I'm still awake, and I'm not going to smoke when I'm at night, because I don't know, because I have narcolepsy. So I take medication to stay awake. So it's like I take my pain med just at night just to go to sleep. But oh yeah, CBD definitely helps. And a lot of people think, oh, it's weed. No, weed is like THC. There's CBD oil, there's CBD weed, there's CBD drops, or a lot of things. And with tea, I've been starting to do black tea with honey and a little bit of sugar, and that helps me too. Like if I can't sleep and I'm like, man, I'm like, there's something wrong, and I don't know if I'm picking off somebody else's emotion that I'm attached to, being an empath, I'll drink the helps me at night. It just knocks me out. I'm like, man, you would think someone put something in my drink that knocked me out.
Wow. Okay. Well, I hear that there's like these gummy bears. There's like these fudge brownies, all sorts of different stuff that actually taste pretty good too. I mean, and it works. It works for people.
Yeah, my mom has it, and she was all against. I don't do weed. I don't do that. And then I talked to my mom. She goes, "Yeah, I got these gummies, and they're very nice." I'm like, "Oh, you got that?" And I'm like, "Mom, what happened?" She goes, "Yeah, I was against weed and all that, but these helped me because she had a knee replacement, and she's all about it." I'm like, "Oh man!" I'm like, "Now can we get a tattoo?" Because she doesn't like needles. She's like, "No." I'm like, "But you got the weed." I'm like, "You said you were all against smoking and weed, and now you got these gummies at night." I'm like, "Man." So she's on it, and it helps her, and I'm glad it helps
Good,
her.
good.
Mommy, you know this song?
Sometimes was telling me about something from Amazon I can get to relieve pain in my neck.
Yeah, there's CBD oil that you can get from Amazon for your neck. I forget what it's called because I had it, and it had like I thought it was like it's hemp. It's like a mist of hemp oil,
Oh, okay.
and that helps because I had it for my back, but it was like I couldn't do it anymore with
Edibles.
my
Isn't that what
back.
they call them? Is edibles?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
edibles.
yeah.
The
Okay.
gummy bears are edibles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You can make fudge brownies too.
Yes,
Just don't let
yes.
your kids have them. Like they're just special. But yeah, I had like that hemp oil for my back, but after the car accident, I had to get on
David
morphine.
Smock. David Smock said, "I'm afraid I'd like edibles too much."
Oh my god! Have you seen that TV show Man with a Plan, where the guy's grandfather had all these edibles, and he ate all the edibles and came home because I'm against people that are high, and he's all happy because this is what it feels like. So if you ever seen Man with a Plan, he got a hold of the edibles, and that was funny. I'm like, I wonder if that's what really happens because I've never seen someone like high, but
Yeah.
I never tried edibles. It's a cream. Yeah. Like there's a cream and oil. I'm looking it up. Yeah, because Amazon, it's a green IVE 28,000 milligrams hemp oil. It's vegan. And that's for like $12. And that's for pain relief. So it's like a hemp oil. So if you just put in on Amazon hemp oil, it'll come up like hemp oil and creams, and they're not that expensive.
Yeah,
There's
12
even
bucks.
one.
That's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, and there's hemp seed oil drops. So if you want to take that, and that's like $21, and that's for how many ounces? 30 millis, I think it says. I didn't click on it. I just started looking at it. So yeah, if you put hemp oil out there, there's so much that hemp oil, even though it's a lot of milligrams, it'll help you if you want to go that route. Start small, start from the beginning, then go up.
I think it's cream. It's a cream someone at church was telling me about. Says her
Yeah,
name.
they have the hemp cream. Hemp cream, 3 million super effective natural seed oil extract.
Now, Iron Woman said it helps for my fibro, my PTSD, and my insomnia.
Mm-hmm.
Nice,
A lot
nice.
of people don't know that. They just think, weed's weed. And it's like, no, you got to think the CBD because you get CBD and THC together to get the weed, to get the kush kush. And like I said, don't do kush kush unless you want to get yourself knocked out. Then you can. It goes 2 puffs. And I was about 120 pounds then. And I was 2 puffs and I was out. And I haven't done it before. So yeah, that was my first time and my last time. Yeah, Joshua. But they're just gummy bears. How hard could they be to me?
Okay, now Joshua says you need to be more careful with edibles since you're ingesting it.
Make sure they're FDA approved. You're gonna be on edibles that sent me to the ER TV show.
Ugh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. CBD comes in everything.
Could you imagine? I need to I need to do a video on that. So I would order a package from the local dispensary, okay, and it would come to my house, and the title of my video would be box opening, okay, box opening, and it would be of different types of edibles and CBD oils, and so it would not only just be an unboxing, it would be a review. So could you imagine me trying all these edibles and doing all the oils. And by the time I got done, I'd be like, oh,
We're gonna get it, and then we're gonna get a video when he comes back. So these sent me to the ER, and this is how it went.
I highly recommend.
Oh my goodness. You're gonna, if you do that on D-Live, you're gonna have so many clips of
Oh
that.
my God.
They're gonna like, oh my God, clip it, clip it, clip it, clip it.
Oh Lord. Texas history, ain't that the truth? Oh man.
He's gonna need more Reese's Pieces. He'd be like, where's my stuff? And he'd be like trying to look for it. You're gonna see him like walking back and forth. I thought it was over here.
I would be unwrapping all these miniature Reese's Pieces thinking that they're edibles. And they're just Reese's Pieces. I'd be like feeling really freaking good.
You got people going, we need to get with that stash. He's got some good Reese's Pieces stash. Let's go. And there's like,
Oh my, where did you get
it?
those from? Target? Where did you get them from? Oh my God.
Yeah, right, Texas. GIFs and all that was gonna be happening.
So I don't think I'm gonna do that video because the ramifications probably wouldn't look too good for me.
You're gonna need babysat. I need you to watch me. Don't try the edibles. I need you to just watch me. I need supervision. That's how I felt with the Kush twice. I'm like, I need supervision because I didn't know if I was going to do something, but I slept only. It was a nice sleep. I needed sleep, but yeah.
You know what would really piss me off is if Reese's watched that video of mine, okay? And here I'm thinking that the Reese's is the edibles, right? And Reese's contacts me a week later and says, you know, we watched your review of edibles and CBD oils, and we're thinking that maybe you would be a great candidate for our line of new Reese's peanut butter cup edibles.
That would, you're like, finally, I had to do this to get you guys to sponsor me. Come on.
Yeah, right. Oh my God.
Yeah, the oil you don't get high from. Or the cream. Or the drops. They make drops for kids. For ADD and anxiety for kids. They do the drops underneath their tongues now.
Beth, the memes. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, man, we're gonna have to make that. Anybody that knows how to make them? Yeah. We're gonna have to get Reese's. Like, hi, how do you make your Reese's? I need to make edibles from this.
Oh man, that sounds so tempting. Oh my God.
I don't know. You're gonna have to melt it, but you can't mold it into the Reese's. So it might be just some Reese's patty.
Exactly.
Melt it and put the stuff in it, and then you like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Code Red, I don't know what you're doing out there, but I'm going to have to ask you to stop. Okay?
Bring it down a notch.
I don't do that here at my channel. We don't what are they doing? What do you call that when you brag about another channel? What's that called? Promoting. Okay. We don't do that here at CAD 7, okay? No promoting, please. I don't even know who Tiger King is.
Mom. Mom.
And I got a child behind me. What?
Daddy's making me go to be at one of his tunnels. I'm going to be in the back of Daddy.
Oh, okay.
Mommy, what's your favorite song?
We'll talk about it after I get off. Okay.
Huh?
I'll talk about it when I get off. Okay, later.
This is my favorite
Okay.
song.
That's cool.
Okay. Code Red Tiger King 144. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah. No promoting. No promoting. Sorry.
Here be rabbit. You can ask your doctor. Like my my pain management wanted me to go to weed. Like they said, yeah, you just go and get your $500, get your green card. So a lot of the doctors are now helping others go into doing CBD, doing, trying weed for pain. In pain management, they don't like you on medication. They like how I'm getting off because I'm like, hey, I'm feeling a whole lot better, but it's because I'm doing the CBD. So, but yeah, it's definitely your doctors will know and they'll direct you to the places. I do a nurse and I have a client that does it and he's a quadriplegic. So I helped him with his stuff and then he's telling me like where to go and all that. I'm like, oh man, I'm like, I have to go too. But I only do the CBD. I'm like, I only want that because God forbid I try a THC and I get all hooked and then I take too much and I'm the one being alive and being high. Or my kids are like, Mom's high again. Who's watching her this time? She's cooking.
Adventures with Beth said, it tastes like what I imagined grass would taste like, so it's not bad.
There's some good ones. There's the one that smells good is Christmas tree weed. My client gets like, yeah, my client gets like all these other things like Godstopper and Jack. It wasn't Jack Daniel. It was something Jack and Coke or something. All these weird names. So all these weeds got like these weird names, but you get like if you do like you can do vape with the THC and they're like come like this
Yes.
and they do that. Like he was vaping and all that. He's like, and I had to teach him how to vape because he's like, I know you vape. How do you do it? And like, how's it? And he's like, I got a little one. I'm like, well, I got this big one, so let me try. And I'm like trying to do it for him. And I'm like, call your vape place. I'm like, I can't do it because your vape is not like me because they get the little cartridge, but they come in cartridge too in vapes. And man, when he said he got high and he went outside and he got lost in his own driveway and he was so high.
Oh my goodness.
And I was only like 30 minutes away. He called me. He goes, I need to get back to my house. I don't know how. I'm like, where are you at? He goes, I'm by my car. I'm like, you're in your driveway. He goes, yeah, but I don't know how to turn around. And he's in a wheelchair. I'm like, I'm coming. So it's like he got high off and it was hilarious. I'm like, oh my goodness. But you have someone there, like I was there for him. Like I'm on my way. I'm coming because I was just like a phone call away. I'm like, but it's funny. I'm like, you're in your driveway. How do you not know how to get home? You just turn around. He didn't know how to turn around. He's in an electric chair. I'm like, oh my goodness. It's funny, but it's just like that's
confused.
Right, and that's what I'm like, man. I want to see what is the bake thing, Ching and Chong.
Okay.
That's what you want to do with Ching Chong.
So no vaping.
Herman said, I'm always skeptical of anything I don't know much about. I always do my research. And exactly, do your research. Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this live stream is titled Living with Depression and Anxiety. And that's what we've been talking about for the last couple hours. And I've been meaning to do this stream. It's just first I had to be in the right place before I could do it, right? And I will be doing another one. This ain't the last one, okay? I've touched on this topic a few times over the years here at Cab 7 on YouTube, and it will happen again because depression and anxiety is an everyday occurrence. I don't ever see it leaving this planet, not in my lifetime, not in my lifetime. So it's always going to be a topic that's worthy of being talked about and shared. So I appreciate you, Little Red the Fan, coming up and sharing your story.
No,
And
anytime.
it sounds like you got things going your way, girl.
I took the power. It's all mine.
There you go. There you go.
And hopefully everybody else. Like I said, I'm here to help anybody else.
There
I'm
you
Little
go.
Red the Fan on everything. So you just put it in, you'll find me.
Now take Herman, take her up on her offer, okay? I'm telling you, don't let this opportunity pass you by. All right, Little Red the Fan, she's out there, she's willing to help. Okay?
Been there, done that, have the shirt for it, here to help. To help other people take power, take the stand.
That's right. We got Omar Goss TV out there. Could totally relate to my bro. Good to see more people talking about it. Hey, Renee.
Hi, Omar.
Omar, hey, I appreciate you, buddy, being here. And, Omar has actually talked about this over at his own channel as well. And I think that's also helped me to do this live stream, right? But I've been going through depression and anxiety for the last couple of weeks. I haven't been on D Live, and I've pretty much needed to um, get myself straight, right? I did, and um, uh, I feel like I'm at that point now that I could have talked about anything tonight, right? I could have talked about anything, but tonight's different. I wanted to talk about something that I'm going through, something that I'm living with every day of my life. And I know that there's a lot of people out in the community that can relate to this very topic. It is so important. But I want to remind you all, it is a real thing. Do not think that it's fake. It is extremely real. All right? Be sure to check out Omar Gosh TV out there. Listen, he just isn't all about the paranormal, okay? It's not all just about the paranormal. Omar Gosh talks about a lot of different topics over at his channel. And you know what? He makes you feel like you're right in the same room, like he's speaking to you. Because when he's talking about real life things, he wants you to understand it the way that he's living it, okay? And he's very good at bringing that across the table. Omar, I don't know. You want to come up and talk a little bit on it? Because I know you've shared it over at your channel. If you want to come up, I'll send you a link real quick, brother, and you can share with us your thoughts. I know that he's a
Yeah, Omar,
busy.
tag team. I tag you. Your turn.
Yeah, exactly.
Tag, you're it.
Abby, Holly, how you doing? You're Abby normal.
I can see everybody calling their doctors tomorrow. Hey, I heard about the CBD oil. So how do I get it? Where do I go?
Exactly.
They're gonna be on Amazon looking at the hemp oil because I'm like, hey, you can go for hemp oil. They're like, oh yeah. I'm gonna share that on my Twitter today. Is hemp oil and CBD to help people get stuff.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm very thankful to CBD oil. I've never tried it myself, but I've seen a lot of people that have been helped because of it. So I'm all for it. I am 100% on board with CBD oil. Heck yeah. Uh, Omar has been dealing with anxiety lately too, and with good reason. See, Adventures with Beth, yes, most definitely, and he has shared that in his live streams, right?
Omar, where are you? Did you just appear?
RC Art says anxiety and depression can consume your life. It is a constant battle. Ain't that the truth? RC, good to see you out there, brother.
Don't let it attack you. You attacked it. That's what I always say. Don't let it control you. You control that.
Lulu Love You says it does work, Ben. That's awesome. That's so awesome.
Oh, they do have gummies. Look at that.
I'm an old stoner, never touched the stuff till I found out about the glaucoma.
Mm.
Yeah, I've heard it's helped people with glaucoma.
It can help a lot of stuff. Look,
Oh,
I'm
most
already on the
definitely.
gummies.
Most definitely. Omar, if you can hear my message here, I don't know if you left or not, but it's kind of an in and out with him. He's a busy guy, and I get that. But Omar, if you're still out there and you can hear my voice, if you want to come up on the panel and share your experience with us, I'd really appreciate that. If you got a few minutes. If not, I get it. I get it.
And another thing with the CBD, they have CBD for pets too. Like a lot of the pets I take care of with
I heard
seizures
that.
have
Yeah.
CBD oil, yeah. And I have a client that sells it for pets too. Yeah.
Wow.
But that, Lulu, I was reading your mind.
Ah, yeah. You know, you just never know who might be lurking your live stream till they speak up, right?
Like I said, a lot of people are, they don't want to speak up until they see someone else to speak up. And then they're like, wait, I had that same issue. And then
Exactly.
they'll talk in there, but it takes one
Yep.
person like me. I'm like, you know what? I want people to know I took power. I'm up here. I'm here to tell everybody you can win. Like I said, I'm like, I thought I was going to go back. I thought I was going to give up. And everybody's like, no, you're halfway there. You're halfway there. Keep on going. And I pushed it. And now I'm taking control. I'm taking everything.
There you go.
And a little
girl.
dog too. No,
Yeah, your little dog too.
I have my dog. So she came with me. She's always with me. But yeah, I don't want people to think, they get so far and they give up. Like I've been there. I've done that. Don't give up. You got it all in your pocket. You got all the evidence on everything. You need help. Like I said, the doctors know about CBD. If you don't want to be smoking it or, oil, or you need to get out of a relationship think you're stuck in it, and that's what's causing your anxiety or depression. There's other people. Like I said, I've been there. I've done that. I got out. I'm so much better, even though it took me 14 years and 2 kids. So
Never pet a kitty high on the nip.
they're mean.
What direction is this live stream going in? Wow.
Oh
Our
my
goals from
God,
here on
dude.
out are to inspire people to speak up no matter what they are going through. Nothing wrong with that there, Herman. I love to see Omar do his haircut videos.
Teach everybody how to haircut. It is Holly. Oh, gamer chair. Wee.
You know, here's the truth about gamer chairs, okay? Now, I've had 2 of them. And as you notice, I don't have one now. And I will never get another one. Now, this is just my experience, folks, okay? So don't go heave ho on me. But this is the problem with gamer chairs. They're meant to look pretty and last 2 years. Okay? 2 years max for your average gamer chair, and they look pretty. That is all the purpose they serve. Are they meant for long-term sitting in, falling asleep, and partying and all that? No, they're not meant for long-term. Long-term is an industrial size, okay, an industrial size chair like what I've got. All right, now this will hold up to 500 pounds. 500 pounds, and the cushion is thicker than in a gaming chair. Now, a gaming chair, you'll look at the picture on the internet and you're going, God dang, that looks about 4, 5, 6 inches thick. And when it comes to your house, it's not. Okay? So you sit in it thinking, you sit in that computer chair and you squish down into it, right? Well, after a period of time, that squish down doesn't come back up. It doesn't resolve itself, right? It just stays flat like a pancake. And you're feeling that board underneath that you put those screws through so you could attach the chair to the wheels. Yeah, 2 years max. Get yourself a CEO chair that sits behind one of those fancy desks, okay? Because this thing has 6 inches 6 inches of padding. 6 inches, folks. All right. And I'm not feeling the board underneath. And I've had this chair for several months now. I am completely satisfied with this chair. And no, it didn't cost no $1 million. It only cost $299, almost as much as any computer chair would cost. So, computer chairs are only meant to look good, just not to last.
But we'll say, but it goes all the way down. See?
So did both of mine. Heck yeah.
I don't know. It's comfy. It helps my back when I'm sitting here on the computer.
I look for chairs that are in the garbage, says Iron Woman. Nothing wrong with that.
You know what? And that helped me with my anxiety. When I was stuck at home, I would pick people's garbage. They had a stand or like a dresser in the trash. I'd go
Sure.
take it home and I paint it and I flip it and I sell it. And I would do like these things. I would make it into like a kid's and I
Yes.
put like superhero. I would do like Spider-Man
Yes.
stuff. And I sold them. I had someone had like some kind of stand and I turned it into a little kid's kitchen. So it was like a little oven. Like the thing open, it was the oven. I made that. So hey, there's nothing wrong going. So one person's trash is another person's
I
treasure.
was just going to say that. I was just going to say that. You're exactly right.
That helped me with my anxiety, taking people's trash, taking it home, flipping and sell it. Put it on Facebook and sell it and go before and after. Here you go.
Yeah.
I got it for free. Put my labor into it and sold it.
The new DIY channel, Little Red the Fan, DIY. DIY.
DIY. I might do that. I don't know. I have another channel I was starting to do the theme parks, but maybe.
Ah. Well, can you think of anything else that you could possibly share before I bring this all to a close?
Before he beats me up and takes me out now.
That would never happen.
I know. I think I said it all, like to help everybody. Even like with the trash thing I brought up, like take something that you have anxiety, then go and do something new. Like I said, I flipped furniture. I brought it home. I painted it. I'm doing resin stuff now. I'm making stuff and selling. I'm making earrings and all that. So just take something to help you with your anxiety, and it'll bring it down. Like you feel like that little hit, that anxiety, that breakdown, that depression's going to go hit. Go do something. Get your mind off it, because sometimes it is in your mind, and you think it's in your mind, and you're trying to move it down.
You heard the woman, people. You heard her. Okay, well, I'm going to give you okay, she had. I'm going to give you opportunity right now to say your parting words, and I'm going to have you step down from the panel, and then I'm going to close out this stream. Okay?
Well, I'm getting off. I said everything, and hopefully I helped everybody, and they can contact me. So,
Awesome.
yep, I'm Little
Thank you,
Red on
Little Red.
everything. You're welcome. Thanks for having me up here, and hopefully I helped somebody.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Much love to you, girl.
Mwah, thanks for having me, guys. Love you.
All
Much
right,
love.
there you go. That's our friend, Little Red the Fam. And before her was Herman the Great. He came up and shared his story as well. Listen, this is an important topic, and I will talk about it again. This isn't the last time you hear about depression and anxiety. It is truly a real thing, and it does affect a lot of us in the community, no doubt about it. Um, I remember someone saying some time back that well, never mind. I'm not even going to bring that up. Forget it. Forget it. Um, I just hope next time we could get some more people up on the panel to talk about it. I realize that some people are embarrassed or shy or very private and they don't want to talk about such things as these topics, right? Depression and anxiety. But it is so real. And when other people get up on the panel and share their stories, it does inspire some people. It does encourage some people. It does lift up some people, and it gives some people strength, and some people, it even gives them hope just by simply listening to someone else's story. I want to thank all of you for being here tonight at Cab 7. For those that donated, thank you. I really appreciate that. And I never ask for donations here at Cab 7, and I never, ever will. But for the donations that do come in, 75% go right back out to the community to help people, for an example, that might need a little bit of food in their fridge or in their cupboards, right? That's my choice. I would rather take the donations and put it back out in the community and help someone else out, right? And that feels good to be able to do that. So, um, I want all of you to have yourselves a good night, a good morning, or afternoon, wherever you might be at. Listen, before I end this live stream, there is something that I always like to do. And maybe it's a new tradition here at Cab 7, but it's not a new tradition in my life. And it's simply called giving another person a hug. And I do believe hugs work and they're great therapy. So come on up here and give me a hug. Come on. Oh, yeah, that feels good. Oh man, what a difference a hug can make. Oh man. Take this and take this and pass it forward to the next person, because that next person could use both those things just as much as you can. Our world needs a whole bunch of that. Last but not least, I want all of you to take good care of yourselves, okay? And more importantly, take care of each other. I want to thank Shayon David, a little bit of food in the fridge. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Thank you. Take care, everyone. All right? Take care.